Hello everyone, welcome back to Naomi's Bookshelf. Today I have a very exciting announcement for you. So Kailey from Luminous Librio asked me to be a co-host for her 30 books in 30 days for September, along with a book gem. We will be co-hosting the 30 books in 30 days. It is so exciting. Kailey did a lot of work into this readathon. She made a calendar and bookmarks, and it is going to be a challenge, but a fun one. So the first thing that you should know is the readathon will take place over the whole month of September. So you can start whenever if you don't feel like you can start at the beginning, but it is a whole month long. The other really important thing that you should know is that books are to stay under or very close to 100 pages. So you do not need to read 9,000 pages in the month to make 30 books in 30 days. We are not expecting that. We are really wanting just to challenge ourselves and challenge you to read every day, or to read some short stories, some smaller books, novellas, and I do have some recommendations for you. We also have some other prompts as well. So like I said, for challenging ourselves, reading anything counts. It can be a short story, it can be a graphic novel, it can be a play, it can be anything. It can be a picture book. It doesn't matter. The idea is to read anything under 100 pages or close to it. It also could be an audiobook. It doesn't matter. Just reading. And if you don't feel like you can read 30 books in 30 days, reading 30 minutes a day totally works as well. That's one of our other challenges. If you'd like to go for that challenge, you can put that in. We have a calendar specifically for that too, that all of those calendars and bookmarks will be in the description box for a PDF form if you would like to download them and print them off for yourself. It's going to be a lot of fun. So one of our challenges is to read 10 books from one genre or age group. That could be 10 middle grade books, 10 YA books, you could read 10 fantasy books, or like I will be 10 mystery books. This is going to be my short story collection that I am going to be attempting to read in September. This is not officially, but most likely my TBR. I'm going to call this my TBR attempts, or my TBR possibilities, we can call it. So this will be a 15 story collection, and this is full of mysteries that are inspired by Sherlock Holmes or like Sherlock Holmes. So this will be most likely what I'll be reading, and 15 short stories that are mysteries. So this will be the 10 genre, or 10 books in one genre that I'll be reading. And you can do the same, and you can pick any genre, any age group for this one challenge, 10 books in one particular age group or genre, and make it work. Another challenge of ours is to read 10 books by one author. So this could be anything. It could be an author who has a short story collection out that you would like to read. I personally am going to challenge myself, as I believe ShakeTube happens in September again, and I am going to try to finish out some Shakespeare plays and read 10 Shakespeare plays. This is challenging myself, I know, and I have, I think, 14 left that I would like to get through. So I'm gonna give myself a challenge and try to read 10 Shakespeare plays over the month. And these do count because they are under 100 pages or close to it. And they are short, and they are all by the same author. I know there's some controversy about that, but we are counting it. So this is my official or attempted TBR for this. He also has some sonnets and some poetry, which would work as well for this. So you can make it work for your agenda, but this is my TBR, and you can do with it what you would like. The next one is to read 10 books about one topic or one setting. So you could read books about sports. This is not my choice for me, but you could read books about sports. You could also read books set in space like Binti, which I would highly recommend. That trilogy is great. The first two do qualify, and the third one you should just fit in anyways. It is not as great as the first two in my opinion, but they both fit. I personally, though, will be trying to do courtroom setting, as this is called You Be the Judge, 20 True Crime and Cases to Solve. This is a collection of case files that you can solve, and they are about 20 to 35 pages long each case. I am very excited to check this out and just read through the court documents and see what I would assume the correct answer would be. And that's basically what this book is. And I'm not going to read them all, I assume, but at least we'll read 10. So the next group takes some work and some effort, but they are worth it, I think, and they will be a little more of a challenge. Now, the first one is to read a book that was published or written by an author who is under 30 years old when they wrote or published the novel. Now, I personally will be reading something from Jane Austen's Juvenilia, and this is something I would recommend to you. She has some great work, and they are short, or they can be really hilarious and really fun. I don't have another recommendation, so you'd have to do some research or check out Kailey's video or Gem's video. We have all picked out our TBRs, so you can check out their videos for more recommendations. I know that Kailey's doing out specifically a recommendations video, so you can check out her thoughts on which would be great books to pick up for this prompt. I haven't picked out a specific book for hers that I would pick out to read for this prompt, but I do recommend The Beautiful Cassandra. Also, her history of England was particularly hilarious. So those two I would recommend for this one for you. If you'd like to check out a Jane Austen one, you can find them online for free if you would like to read something like that. Next, we have something that was published over 30 years ago, and you can go with anything that is a modern classic, anything that was published even, can you believe it, before 1990. Crazy, but that is totally possible. So anything before 1990. You could also even go with a Bible book. It's totally legit because it is a book, and anything on Goodreads counts. So, or Storygraph, anything on those two platforms counts. So this one would work. You can pick out any book of the Bible and have it applicable, except for Psalms. Psalms, I believe, would be too long for this to count. But you could pick out the book of Ruth, you could pick out the book of John. All of those are under 100 pages on these platforms, so have at her. You could also pick out anything that you've already planned, like Jane Austen is definitely over 30 years old. Go wild. And for my TBR, I will be reading First Kings from here. The next and final challenge that we have is to read a book that is between 30 and 39 pages. So for my TBR, I will be reading actually the first story in this one, which is called Can You Believe This Witness? It is actually 39 pages exactly. So that is pretty perfect and providential for this readathon. However, I do have a recommendation if you are not able to find something. I'd recommend reading The Bottle Imp by Robert Louis Stevenson. At least in this edition, it is 30 pages. So if your edition is a little shorter or a little longer is great because this is 30 pages. But if it's too long, you can count it as 30 pages. As in mine, it is 30. I think it is a great one, and I really enjoyed reading The Bottle Imp when I read it. Was it last year? 2 years ago for Halloween? I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was a really great short spooky story, old Victorian spooky story, and it is short enough to count. So this is a TBR, not really. I have a short story collection. I have another partial short story collection, which I'll probably read the whole thing of. I'll read 1 or 2 stories from here, and then I'll read 10 Shakespeare plays, along with 1 Bible book, as I do read 1 Bible book a month when it comes to that size. But that is my TBR for 30 book in 30 days, along with this announcement. Please let me know down below if you're participating. If you can find some books, you also don't have to read 30 books in 30 days. Just do your best. That's what we want. We want everyone to just challenge themselves and do the best that they can reading short stories. They're not my cup of tea typically, but I'm gonna push myself and really enjoy this time of reading outside my typical comfort zone when it comes to the length of books that I read. So I hope that you do the same. Please join us. I would highly recommend picking up Binti if you're wanting to pick up a sci-fi novella. That's a great one. I have loved that one this year. I would also recommend any of the books I've talked about in this video. I would also recommend Sherlock Holmes if you're wanting something a little more classics like I do. I know that Kailey is planning a recommendations video, like I said, so you should check out her channel for recommendations for all of the prompts. And I might do one as well. We'll see how it goes. But anyways, I hope you're doing well. If you like this video, you can give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to subscribe and you are new here, please do. And I'll see you next time in another video. Bye for now.